Okay, so like I was just saying, this is a storybook STEM, or we could also say STEAM. We added our A in. All right, so Miss Parsons has been talking about folk tales and folklore, and y'all, last time I think perhaps did y'all do Little Red Riding Hood? Do you remember that? And y'all did, y'all did a fractured folk tale, which is like a modernization. Which book did y'all read that was kind of like Little Red Riding Hood, but maybe it had a boy and maybe it was set in another country? Yes, sir.
A dragon going to different places.
Not quite. I think it was called Frederico and the Wolf. Do y'all remember that one? No, did y'all not do that?
I wasn't
That one?
here for
Okay.
it either.
Oh, you weren't here for it. Okay. Well, we're gonna catch you up. I'm gonna catch you up. Federico was a little boy. He was supposed to go to his grandfather's bakery, and he met the wolf, or as they called Lobo. You remember that?
No.
And they had a blend. It was used blend words like
Spanish?
yes. It had some Spanish words in it, some English words. So it's teaching you vocabulary of a different language. Yes, and remember when the wolf was going to eat Federico and he took that chili powder and
Yeah.
remember that? He started sneezing? Okay, so y'all do remember that book. All right. So, so that was our example of Little Red Riding Hood's a folk tale. Folk tales are stories passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. That story teaches us a lesson, like a moral lesson for your community or your culture. So Little Red Riding Hood was passed down from word of mouth. The Boy Who Cried Wolf is a folk tale. The Tortoise and the Hare, The Lion and the Mouse, Chicken Little, and the one we're going to talk about today in our comparison story is The Little Red Hen. All right?
We know that.
You know The Little Red Hen?
No, we all know that.
You all know that one?
Yeah, we read it in class all the time.
Great. Yes, sir.
We read it in our class.
Good. So you're going to be familiar with it, and we're going to read it again, or we're going to do a story share about it. But before we go on, I was just talking about fractured folk tales. So fractured folk tales are folk tales based on stories that have been modernized. Like, remember Little Red Riding Hood I was just talking about?
I've seen.
Okay, Little Red Riding Hood. What was that story? She was taking her grandmother some baked goods, right? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I've seen that book before because I read it.
Great. I love that you're reading. That is very important. Reading is the most important thing you will ever learn to do.
I read 30 minutes. I read 40.
Great, great.
I read an hour actually.
Wow.
I
All
read
right.
after my book.
Good job, everybody, for reading. So, Miss Parsons asked you all a question last time she was here, or y'all were here in her media center. She asked you how you could modernize Little Red Riding Hood to make her a strong character. Does anybody remember that? Okay, what she asked you was, how could you modernize Little Red Riding Hood so that she didn't need help from others? I'm going to show you an example here of Ninja Red Riding Hood.
I love that book. No. What could it be?
I think we may have froze up here.
Frozen. Maybe
did
because
freeze
you
it.
need I've seen it before, and maybe you need it to be out of the screen, like where it's small. One thing that helps me. You need Miss Person to help.
I know, I agree with you.
Is it like frozen or something?
It is.
You might need to use the computer. Miss
Might
Parsons.
need to.
Computer. Yeah. Miss
Might
Parsons.
need to.
What?
Oh,
Don't press the arrows. You're still
Don't press the arrows.
Help. Press help. Press assistance by help. Don't press just help. Let her figure it out.
We'll try to.
What? No, it's not.
Oh my goodness.
Quiet. Oh my god. You need to call Miss Parson. Miss Parson. Miss Parson.
Let's ask.
Miss Parson. We need your help.
It's okay.
Miss Parson, let's need your help.
so I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, boys and girls, I like how you're sitting.
Yeah, y'all are doing great.
You are. And this is what happens. I haven't had it as much, but
There we go. Let's see. See if it'll play this time.
No. You press the cap.
No, don't press anything else. Huh?
Have you tried using the computer yet?
No, I was hoping
Then use the computer.
that I could get out of here.
This is not bad with that camera.
Let's see.
Oh. No, plus it's not cramping.
All right, let's try it this way then.
It's not a phone.
There we go. So let's watch Ninja
Story
Red
Shark
Riding.
presents Ninja Red Riding Hood from the creators of The Three Ninja Pigs by Corey Rosa Schwartz, illustrated by Dan Santana. Once upon a ninja-filled time, a wolf couldn't catch any prey. He kept getting licked by the dinner he picked and was growing more ticked by the day. His belly was aching for bacon. I'm wasting away, he complained. To huff and to puff was no longer enough, so he snuck into school to be trained. He practiced his katas for hours and mastered the whirlwind and wheel. He jackknifed and flipped, and at last felt equipped to once again catch a good meal. Drooling with anticipation, he set off in search of some meat. While deep in the wood, he met Riding Hood. "I'm bringing my grandma a treat." The wolf licked his chops when he saw her, and hastily thought of a plan. There are blossoms that way. You can pick a bouquet to give to your little old gran. Then the wolf took a shortcut to Grandma's, where he thought that he'd find her in bed. But Granny was gone, so he put her robe on and eagerly waited for Red. Soon after, he heard someone knocking. He called out, "My dear, come on in. Oh, don't you look good in your lovely red hood, but a shame that you've gotten so thin." Little Red took a look at her granny and said, "What on earth did you do? I can swear that your eyes have completely changed size. Hey, Gran, are you sure that it's you?" "Of course it is me, my sweet darling. The better to see you, my dear." "And your ears are so long, something really seems wrong." "Oh, my girl, all the better to hear." "And those biceps, my gosh, they look massive." "And your trousers can dip for a mess." "The better for hugging," her grandma said, shrugging. "Dear Red, that's just plain common sense." "And those teeth, they look so much sharper." "Why, yes, all the better to chew." He jumped out of bed to gobble up Red, but
She flew.
she'd gone to ninja school too. She grappled and sideswiped and twisted and escaped from his clutches unscratched. He attempted a lock, but he managed to block. They appeared to be evenly matched. Just then they both heard someone chopping. A woodsman, Red thought, but instead it was Gran and her gi. She'd just come from Tai Chi. "Don't you dare harm a hair on her head." The wolf took a swing at that instant, but Red deftly dodged the attack. She got a good grip, threw him over her hip, and the wolf wound up flat on his back. "All skedaddle," the wolf said in anguish, as he struggled back onto his feet. "Just a second, you beast. You will not be released till you promise to give up red meat." Though his tummy still rumbled with hunger, the wolf faced his rivals and vowed, "Ninja Red, you have won. My meat days are done." "Oh, Redchan," said Gran, "I'm so proud." Then Red and the wolf bowed politely, and Gran gave him half her peach pie. The wolf was a mess. He'd had way too much stress. "I guess I'll give yoga a try." He enrolled at the Downward Dog Center, where his tension began to decrease. He studied with yogis, said no to meat hoagies, and felt, at last, truly at peace.
There he goes.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this reading of Ninja Red Riding Hood, please like this video.
Did y'all like that one?
Subscribe.
Yeah.
And be
It's
sure
kinda
to check
funny,
out
wasn't
more
it?
stories from Story Shark coming soon.
Yeah, he's scratching.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of funny, wasn't it? So now we're going to talk about setting characters, and events. All right, what is the setting of this story? Does anybody know where it's set, perhaps? It doesn't tell us, but
You mean both settings or just the place? Or just
the place where you think it was set. Okay, go ahead.
Part of the setting too.
What now?
The time's part of
Yes, that is true. But what is the place in this particular
They were
one?
in the woods.
They're in the woods. Okay, where else do you think they are?
They were mostly in Red Riding Hood's grandma's house.
Yes, they were. Now, a place on the globe, where do you think perhaps it could be set?
China.
Maybe Japan,
No.
right?
They were in ninja school too.
They were ninja school. That's right, right?
No, actually that was Japan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, come
Or
hang out with
China.
me here.
Or China.
Yeah, come hang out with me here because I think the table's talking to me. Did you have something you wanted to add? No? How about you?
They also could have been in Mongolia.
Okay. Okay, perhaps. But I really think that even though it doesn't tell us, I think it's Japan because of the outfits they're wearing,
But it could be
ninja.
China.
I don't know if China.
It could be China. China has the same. They were in. He was definitely a place too.
Yes. So all right. So what are we're gonna get to that. So the characters. What are the characters? Wolf is a character. What's another character?
Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood. Anybody else?
The grandma.
The grandma. Grandma is definitely a secondary character because she's not in the story as much. The primary or the main characters are Little Red and the wolf. A good observation. Okay. Now this story is a little different than the original version. There's no lumberjacks. Nobody rescues Little Red. This is a fractured folktale. It has been modernized. So what's the problem in this particular story? Yes, in the back. What's the problem? Say it one more time for me, please. That is a problem that the wolf has. He cannot find any food. What's another problem?
The other problem is all those ninjas are trying to stop him from just eating food. He's just hungry.
And what's the main problem in this story? Yes.
The main problem is that like the wolf keeps trying to find prey, but everyone's too good, so he's trying to yoga.
Yeah, so all right, so one of the problems is, I think what you're getting at, is that he wanted to eat all that red meat and all that stuff, and that he craves bacon, remember that? So he wanted to eat Little Red Riding Hood, but when he gets in a confrontation with her, and she wins, he vows to give up that red meat, doesn't he? And he knows that that his aggressive behavior has been too much, so he goes and takes yoga and meditates.
I know what he could have done to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm. What's the solution then? If that's the problem, then what's the solution?
This is actually one of the problems.
What? Go ahead with the problem then.
Everyone's just going to ninja school.
I think that helps with the solution,
Maybe
though.
go to Korea.
Go ahead.
I think I had something that he could have a solution. Buy a grill and then cook something.
Okay, that would be kind of changing the story, but in
No, but
this
not
particular story, what was the solution? You kind of said it.
The solution was yoga.
For yoga, yes, meditation to calm him down. So now we understand setting, characters, problem, solution.
Before he's gonna eat everyone. Mr. David?
Yes, sir.
It could be Korea too.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna have to do some more research. You've got me thinking, so I'm gonna do some more research on that. So that kind of caught us up to speed with what Mrs. Parsons has been teaching y'all about different folk tales. Everybody, can we pay attention here? And then now we're going to move on to a comparison contrast. And y'all did that with Little Red Riding Hood and Federico and the Wolf last time. This time we're going to use the Little Red Hen and a new story from a North Carolina author.
Federico?
I'm sorry? So remember Federico and the Wolf was this one.
Oh.
Remember that one?
I wasn't
Okay.
here for it. Me
neither.
I didn't
This is it?
No, we didn't do that. No, we
Okay,
didn't do
well,
that.
You'll do it in backwards. You
You
do? Some remember it, some don't. Some are here. Oh, good. You like that one? I like it too. All right, so comparing and contrasting. Can someone tell me what the word compare means?
Like to put two things together.
Mm-hmm. How they are alike
Yeah.
or similar. Okay, now what about contrasting?
Like how they're different.
How they're different. Good job. So compare would be like, you could use like, they both are like this, they are similar, also as well as. To contrast, you could say they're different, on the other hand, however, or but. Now these two pictures here are similar and different. So how can we, how do they compare? Yes, ma'am.
They're the same color.
Same colors. Good observation. How are they the same?
Wait, what was it again?
How are these two pictures like?
Because they're both yellow and black, but
That's what she just
one
said.
part of them isn't.
Well, we're going to get the contrast in a moment. Another comparison.
They both have
They both have wings. That is an astute observation. How are they the same? They're both insects. See, I didn't think of that one. That's very good. All right, and then you, how are they the same?
They're both like flowers.
Ooh,
They both
good
fly.
job. So you know a little bit about butterflies and you know a little bit about bees. Okay.
We're learning about them right now.
Oh,
Butterflies,
perfect.
insects. Did you not see
All right.
the insects right there?
So now how are they different? You wanted to tell me how they're different. I'll be right back with you.
The bee has a white wing and the butterfly has a yellow wing.
How about the size? How are they different?
The bee is small. That's kind of similar.
Say, go ahead.
They both have 6 through 8 cells.
Ooh, wonderful. Thank you.
You're supposed to. They both have like kind of like 3 parts. Like the bee has a head, then like the body, then like the back, then the 2 wings, then the body.
Y'all are blowing my mind. You know so much more than I even observed when I was thinking about this lesson. Great work, everybody. Okay, what do you want to do? Compare or contrast? What's the contrast? Let's move on to contrast.
Is that their wings are different sizes.
Gosh, great work. All right, contrast in the back.
They're both pollinators.
Well, okay, that would be a comparison, and that's a good observation. Now contrast, you've been patient.
So the bee small, the butterfly.
Their size, so size of wings, but also size of body. Contrast.
The bee has a stinger, but the butterfly has really no defense.
Good job. That's one I like there. Okay.
The bee can blink and flash.
Mhm. Oh, and the
And
butterfly
the
kind of
butterfly-
flutters.
Flutters slow.
Good job. Okay, contrast.
I think because actually the bee is bigger than the butterfly.
Right, that's
It's
what
the
our
wing-
friends
the
were
wing
saying
si-
here.
The wing size on the butterfly, it's the wings just make it bigger.
Mm-hmm.
On the bee, their body is
the-
bigger than their wings.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why the bee is bigger than that.
Okay, yes. In contrast, one last contrast. We're gonna have to move on.
The butterfly has antennas and the bee doesn't. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
Hmm,
Well,
maybe.
bees do
I'm not
have
sure. We have to
antennas.
look into that one. All right, last contrast.
Right there. The bee is a little bit like hairy, but the butterfly isn't really. The butterflies are.
Good job. I'm glad I caught on you last. I did not think of that one.
No, I touched.
All right, so we're gonna read, and you all have read this one before, but we're gonna do it again. It's a great book. It's a good morality tale or a folk tale, folklore. Keep these words in your heads.
I'm confused when she bakes pie thing. No, she bakes bread. Whatever. Bakes pie. She goes to the window of their little cage thing, and she says, "Who wants pie?" And all the farm animals say yes, but she says no.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Keep that in your mind.
What? There's nobody really else.
The Little Red Hen, a folktale classic by Paul Galdone. Once upon a time, a cat and a dog and a mouse and a little red hen all lived together in a cozy little house. The cat liked to sleep all day on the soft couch. The dog liked to nap all day on the sunny back porch. And the mouse liked to snooze all day in the warm chair by the fireside. So the little red hen had to do all the housework. She cooked the meals and washed the dishes and made the beds. She swept the floor and washed the windows and mended the clothes. She raked the leaves and mowed the grass and hoed the garden. One day when she was hoeing the garden, she found some grains of wheat. "Who will plant this wheat?" cried the little red hen. "Not I," said the cat.
Not
I,
no,
said the dog.
no.
"Not I," said the mouse. "Then I will," said the little red hen. And she did. Each morning, the little red hen watered the wheat and pulled the weeds. Soon, the wheat pushed through the ground and began to grow tall. When the wheat was ripe, the little red hen asked, "Who will cut this wheat?" "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the mouse.
I can do it.
"Then I will," said the little red hen. And she did. When the wheat was all cut, the little red hen asked, "Now, who will take this wheat to the mill to be ground into flour?"
I will.
"Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the mouse.
Quiet.
"Then I will," said the little red hen.
Quiet.
And she did. The little red hen returned from the mill carrying a small bag of fine white flour. "Who will make a cake from this fine white flour?" asked the little red hen. "Not I," said the cat.
Yes,
"Not I," said the dog.
I love cake.
"Not I," said the
I don't
mouse.
like cake. I like cake.
"Then I will," said the little red hen. And she did. She gathered sticks and made a fire in the stove. Then she took milk and sugar and eggs and butter and mixed them in a big bowl with the fine white flour. When the oven was hot, she poured the cake batter into a shining pan and put it in the oven. Soon, a delicious smell filled the cozy little house. The cat got off the soft couch and strolled into the kitchen. The dog got up from the sunny back porch and came into the kitchen. The mouse jumped down from his warm chair and scampered into the kitchen. The little red hen was just taking a beautiful cake out of the oven. "Who will eat this cake?" asked the little red hen. "I will," cried the cat. "I will," cried the dog. "I will," cried the mouse. But the little red hen said, "All by myself I planted the wheat, I tended the wheat, I cut the wheat, I took the wheat to the mill to be ground into flour. All by myself I gathered the sticks, I built the fire, I mixed the cake, and all by myself I am going to eat it." And so she did, to the very last crumb. After that, whenever there was work to be done, the little red hen had 3 very eager helpers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're happy to.
All right.
There's a mouse supposed to eat that.
Paul Gal.
You're so.
All right. So, do you you think that her friends learned their lesson?
Yes.
The cat did learn her lesson besides the dog.
Yes, ma'am.
No, the dog did. This cat did it. The cat ate all the rest of the carrot. It was a bad boy, so we were put in a pot. Come on, get the cat.
Okay, I'll try to remember that. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna remember that. Okay. Okay, so what's the setting? Where do you think this place takes place? Yes, ma'am.
It's basically two things in the kitchen and outside.
Right, perhaps on a farm. We can maybe can infer that it's on a farm since they're farm animals in a little house. And you're right about the kitchen. Good observation. Yes, be quick, okay? Yes, ma'am.
I think the setting was in the house or the farm.
You're right. Yes, sir. What about the characters? What about the characters?
The little and hen, the cat, and dog, and the mouse.
Perfect. And all of these, I guess, the Little Red Hen's the main character. The story's about her, and the secondary characters would be her little friends, right? So what problem did Little Red Hen face? Yes. Hold on. Okay.
Well, I have one answer. The problem is, they wouldn't help her do all the stuff like the chores and make food. And the question is, are we gonna do this?
I hope so, but we got to hurry up through this. So we spent a lot of time on the other. Hold on one second, y'all. Solution. What was the solution?
David, I'm just gonna say the problem.
Oh.
The problem was nobody was helping the little red hen doing anything, so she could make the video.
So she had to do it herself, right? So what was the solution? She made the cake and then.
The solution was that to make it fair, she had them do some of the work and she ate it all by herself.
That's right. She taught them a lesson. So now we're gonna do the Little Red Fort, because next time you all come, we're gonna take this Little Red Fort and we're gonna do something in the makerspace. So let's watch this, because this is a fractured folktale or a modernization of the Little Red Hen. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm
Today
sorry.
we are reading The Little Red Fort
Uh-oh.
by Brenda Mayer. Pictures by Sonia
Do you
Sanchez.
think she'll come back? Okay, thanks for telling
Wait,
me.
it's
I'm
already
sorry.
10:30?
Ruby's mind is
9:25.
always full of ideas.
y'all leave?
One day, she found some old boards. Who wants to help me build something?
9:55.
She
Okay,
asked
thank
her
you.
brothers. Oscar Lee pretended not to hear her. Rodrigo gave her a look that could melt popsicles. Jose almost fell off the fence. You don't know how to build anything, they said. Ruby shrugged. Then I'll learn. And she did. Who wants to help me draw the plans? Ruby asked. The boys clutched their sides and howled with laughter. Not me, said Oscar Lee. I don't think so, said Rodriguez. No way, said Jose. I'm too busy. Fine, said Ruby. I'll draw them myself. And she did. Satisfied with her plans, Ruby asked, who wants to help me gather the supplies? Not me, said Oscar Lee. I don't think so, said Rodrigo. No way, said Jose. I'm too busy. Fine, said Ruby. I'll gather them myself. And she did. When all the supplies were gathered, Ruby asked, who wants to help me cut the boards? Not me, said Oscar Lee. I don't think so, said Rodrigo. No way, said Jose. I'm too busy. Fine, said Ruby. I'll cut them myself. And she did. When all the boards were neatly cut, Ruby sang, who wants to help me hammer in the nails? Not me, said Oscar Lee. I don't think so, said Rodrigo. No way, said Jose. I'm too busy. Fine, said Ruby. I'll hammer them myself. And she did. Soon, Ruby's creation was complete. Who wants to play in my fort? She called. Me, said Oscar Lee. Let's go, said Rodrigo. I'll play, said Jose. I'm not busy anymore. Not so fast, Ruby said. You didn't help me draw the plans, or gather the supplies, or cut the boards, or hammer the nails. You said I didn't know how to build, and you laughed at me. I'm going to play in the fort by myself. And she did. We didn't want to play anyway, the boys said. But they did. So they huddled, whispered, and got straight to work. Oscar Lee made a mailbox. Rodrigo planted flowers. Jose painted the fort fire engine red. Ruby was delighted. That evening, the boys followed a delicious aroma to a fort warming party. Who wants to help me clean this plate? Ruby asked. We do, the boys said. And they did. Build a fort of your own.
All right.
You can build a sofa fort or a kitchen chair fort.
Let's do that.
Okay. So
Donkey with living. How to build a fort.
So I'm gonna run through this real quickly because we're gonna want to check out books. So the setting was various places in their house, correct?
No.
Would you agree with that? And maybe the fort? Yes, Bill.
I'm considered.
Oh, good job. And the characters were Ruby. But we're gonna get to one second. We're gonna get to that. Oscar Lee, Rodrigo, and Jose. The problem was the same as it was similar, not exactly the same as the Little Red Hens. She was working, and they had a case of the lazy bones, and she was working hard, and they wouldn't help her. And then when she got what she wanted, when she built what she wanted, then they wanted her to take part in it. All right, and the solution was that that they ended up helping, and she gave her something. Give him something. Why do you think Rodrigo made a mailbox?
To mail her.
Right. What was his motivation for doing it?
To get in between us.
All right. Yeah, because he kind of learned his lesson, didn't he? The same with the other brother that painted it.
The little red
And
the little red
also, all right. There was some good vocabulary in this story. There was a word called aroma. Can anybody guess or what aroma means?
A delicious smell.
Go ahead.
A delicious smell.
Not right now, okay? I went and spoke with Miss Parsons and Mrs. Parsons, and we're gonna have to wait on that, okay? So you're right. A delicious smell is aroma. What was some other vocabulary in this story? There was fort. What do you think fort means? What do you think that is?
It's like
A little house. So fort is short for the term fortification, which means to protect or to defend a certain place, and also to keep peace, keep order in times of peace. We're going to learn about that next time. Who all helped Ruby? Did she have people that helped her?
Yes. No.
Well.
Yeah, at the end of the book.
Well. Who?
The parents.
The parents and grandparents helped Ruby, but her brothers did not.
Wait,
Now do you think? See, somebody's helping. So we can infer things through the pictures as well, even though it doesn't explicitly say that. It looks like mom's helping here.
Yeah.
that looks like a dad.
No, it doesn't.
Now there's the word clutch. What do you think that word means?
Clutch. It can also mean something that's like very small. Did you say clutch?
Well, clutch as into
Oh, clutch. Vehicle.
to hold tightly.
Did you say clutch?
Clutch. C-L-U-T-C-H.
Yeah,
So there's Grandma helping. All right, so let's compare these two stories. They're going to compare and contrast and wait. So we're going to compare these two stories.
They both are Little Red.
The main character was a hard worker.
No. Yes. Yes. It won't work.
Which one do you think? Both. Good job. In the end, they proved they could share in the reward. Not Little Red Fort. Okay, make sure you raise your hand. There were 3 characters who were lazy. Both. She wanted to build somewhere to play and relax. Yes. Little Red Fort. Her parents and grandparents helped. We just talked about this.
The Little Red Fort.
Yes. And then this is for you right here. She took the wheat to the mill by herself. Little Red Hen. Good job. She ate her treat all by herself. What's one?
Little Red Hen.
Good job. And she grew wheat from seeds.
Little Red Hen.
Little Red Hen. Good job, y'all. So, how are these two stories similar? Yes. Okay, similar.
All 3 of the lazy characters learned their lesson.
Yes, they did. How are they different?
Because one of them has like animals and they were all like making
Great
that. And the other
observation.
girl was making something like a building or something like a fort, and the Red Hen was making food.
Yeah, one has anthropomorphic characters or animals with human qualities, and the others were actually humans. They were also different, like you said. One was baking, the other was building.
What? I just wanted to know why that one brother was saying I'm too busy when he was just relaxing, watching TV and playing the whole.
Well, he was not telling the truth, was he?
Yeah.
He just had a case of a lot of, like I said, the lazy bones.
The lazy
Right?
bones.
The lazy bones. Okay. Well, that's pretty much all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for listening. And I think we might have a minute to check out books, perhaps. We're going to have to be quick about it, though.
Are you 45 years old?
4 minutes. Sorry, y'all. I was hoping to give you 10 minutes.
Are you 100 years old?
Yes, I feel that way.
36?
I'll take it.
Are you 1 year old?
A little older than that.
I'll
take it.
27?
A little older than that.
90.
All right, you got just a few minutes, y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all did a great
I
job.
think you did well.
He's trying to say,
People
he's
should
trying
be
to say
quiet.
1,000.
Books.
Are you